Hi, everyone, and welcome to another edition of PYA Crew Spotlight. My name is Ria. I am your host, and I'm really pleased to welcome Sara Paterson. She is a yacht medic, medical officer, or stew nurse, depending on which yacht it is that is looking for that position. How are you, Sara?
Very well, thank you, Ria. Yeah, I'm very well today. Really glad to be here with you.
Yeah, well, you know what? You are the first person that I have interviewed in this series that has held that title, whichever title it is that applies at the moment. Tell me a little bit about your backstory, who you are, where you're from, and what got you into yachting.
Okay, well, I guess primarily I would say I'm a nurse, heart and soul. I actually am a trained critical care nurse. So I trained in Oxford in the UK, and then I moved to London and worked in King's College Hospital, which a lot of people might have heard of, quite a famous hospital, big trauma centre, 40-bed ICU, super busy, day shifts, night shifts, go, go, go. Great experience there. And then I just got to that point, you do in your 20s and you have a freak out and say, am I going on this big career path up the ladder, or do I want to just go out there and do something different? So did my STCW like we all do, went down to Antibes, walked the docks, and got a job as a yacht nurse. I think there wasn't too many jobs around at that time for yacht nurses. It was quite a new thing, having nurses on board. It was mainly boats who had elderly owners, and just wanted that sort of peace of mind of having a nurse in the crew. So it was predominantly a stew role. And and from there, that was 10 years ago. Met my husband on that first boat, and we've actually we're still together 10 years down the line. So yeah, it's been an amazing ride for me, amazing journey. Worked on quite a few boats after that as a yacht nurse, yacht medic, and went back to London for a bit, did stints as a critical care nurse. Actually ended up last year in the Nightingale Excel during the pandemic, just as a nurse educator supporting that field hospital there. So that was an amazing sort of time as well. But now back and hoping to get really back into yacht medical training. And that's where my passion lies, really.
Well, let me ask you, I have interviewed people before that, have started different careers and really fulfilling careers, whether it be college professors or scientists or sociologists. With you as a nurse, that is definitely, especially a trauma nurse, that is a specialty. What was it that made you decide, what? I'm not happy climbing up through the ranks of this. I really want to apply my special set of skills to yachting.
I think it was probably before training as a nurse. I always had a bit of a passion for travel, for adventure. I didn't really know I wanted to get into medicine then, but I definitely knew I wanted to live in other countries, experience other places. So at 17, I actually got on a plane. I saved up for a plane ticket myself, worked a part-time job, got a ticket and flew to India and worked on a charity project there. And then started to work there with some nurses who were doing sort of relief work for the Red Cross and things like that. And started to get a bit interested in, I can actually sort of do my passion, which is traveling, and a career with that, which is medicine or nursing. And that really sparked my interest. And then I did a few more stints in India and went to Bulgaria as well, and just did some charity work. And then when I started my yacht career, starting out, I got on this boat, and sorry about the banging. I opened the medical cupboard, and a load of oxygen masks fell out on me. And I looked at it and I thought, God, this is really challenging. And I looked at the environment I was meant to carry out medical care in, and it was, the conditions, out on deck, any weather, a moving platform, big heavy machinery, all sorts of things could happen, and all scenarios were playing through my mind. I just thought, this is really challenging. And my firm belief now is there really is no more challenging a place to perform medical care than at sea. help may be days away. That's a long period of time. So it goes way beyond just having a standard first aid course. It's really advanced equipment, really advanced training, and it's exciting. It's exciting type of medicine because it's very remote. There's that maritime element, so you might get sort of injuries from coral or envenomations from marine animals, and there's all these sort of interesting elements that come into maritime medicine. And so I just really have grown a passion for it. And leaving I left a big telemed company last year, and I really feel that I want to sort of keep developing within the maritime medicine sector. I didn't want to go back to nursing or go back to the regular sort of type of nursing or medicine.
There's not a large percentage of, for example, yacht medics or stew nurses, medical officers on board yachts. But with the explosion that we've seen of more expedition type yachting, do you see that need rising? And if so, do you think that there are enough people out there that are trained to be part of these type of expeditions?
Yeah, it's a hard one. I think there are. I actually did a tropical medicine diploma this year, and that course was the perfect preparation for being a nurse or medic on a yacht, because it was about that remote scenario, the tropical diseases you might see traveling to further flung places, malaria, dengue, Zika, all of those kind of conditions that you would only see if you're traveling further afield. But you're going to very remote places and medical care is far away. And I think you can be a nurse, but that doesn't make you a surgeon or a doctor. You've got to have someone who's very jack of all trades. You might have a paramedic, but they don't have that ongoing care that a nurse could provide over a few days. So you've really got to have someone who's really adaptable, really a jack of all trades, maybe experienced in expedition, and they've done expeditions before to move on to a yacht. And I think I think there will be more demand. I think it's growing, and I think people are realizing the value of having hands-on medical care on board. I don't think that should take away from the crew training. I think the crew also having a good level of training is so important, because they're going to be the support network for that medic. That medic's going to need pairs of hands that know what they're doing as well to support them. But yeah, I think it's a growing part of the industry that is so important and so relevant right now.
In your opinion, do you think that it is best to get that medical training first, or do you think to get your basic tickets on board and then sort of transition over into some sort of medical training? Which would you think would be a better sort of platform to start this career on?
Yeah, I think that you have to have a good year or two experience in a hospital environment, but preferably in a critical care environment. Most hospitals, I believe, will require you to have a year as a ward nurse first before moving into critical care. So you'll have to do that year as a ward nurse, and then maybe a year as a critical care nurse. And I think that's really key to consolidate your skills as a medical professional. And then there are various courses that you can do, which will give you that knowledge of remote medicine. I can really recommend the course I did last year. It's from the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, and it's a brilliant course. It's all online now as well, which is a big advantage. And that really will give you the knowledge you need to move into yachting.
Nice. Well, Sarah, you know what? It's been really informative, and I really do appreciate your time, because there's just not a lot out there that you have the chance to speak to. It definitely is an interesting position. And as we've been saying, it looks like in the future, there's going to be more and more of a need for that specific role. So it's good to get your insight.
Yeah, it's awesome. I absolutely love talking anything medical training, blood and guts. It's just a real passion of mine. So very happy to be here with you today.
Well, we'll make sure to provide all of your information underneath this interview in case somebody wants to get a hold of you, and perhaps you can give them different links and different directions in which they can go to achieve the same goal that you have.
Great. Yeah, more than happy to help.
Thank you so much. Once again, you have been watching the PYA Cruise Spotlight. This has been Sara Paterson, Yacht Medic. My name is Ria. I am your host. Please tune in again next week. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the PYA Cruise Spotlight. My name is Ria. I am your host, and I'm really pleased to welcome my friend, Chef Brennan Dates. How are you?
Excellent, Ria. Thanks for having me. This is cool. I never get interviewed. This is great.
I know you're running around the world interviewing everybody else. How's that going for you?
Really well. You end up learning something every time. I love this podcast and you're the one that kind of pushed me to do it because I didn't want to do it. I was like, it doesn't sound interesting, but thank you. And like I said, I learn something every time, and I just feel lucky to be connected with really, I think, interesting people that have something to say. Thank you. It's awesome. It's been fun.
I'm here to serve. I'm here to serve. Now, let me ask you, how did you get into yachting?
I worked at a very famous hotel in the Florida Keys. It's a Relais and Chateau, a very exclusive French rating that you need to pay a shitload to be a member of. So I was there as a youngin'. I think I was like 22, 23 by the time I heard about yachting. And then my friend Will became a captain with his wife, and she was a chef. So I was a deckhand for 6 months. And then he dropped me off in Fort Lauderdale and sent me on my way. Scrub and teak.
And so that was sort of what led you into yachting then. And what do you feel yachting has done for your life? What are the major perks for you that yachting has, sort of the opportunities that yachting has given you?
Yeah, very good question, and succinct as well. The opportunities, because that's what it affords. The opportunities. So I've been doing it 20 years, and I'd say, like, and I don't want this to sound bad either, but it's disposable income and time. Like you can kind of, well, it's true though. I mean, you can leave a boat whenever you want. You're not obligated. You don't have a house to worry about. You don't have to move. And so I've used that to travel and see the world. Like I've been riding my world around the motorcycle. Let's try that again. I've been riding my motorcycle around the world for off and on for 13 years. And I don't know another profession that I could have fit that into, so it's flexibility, I'd say. And I'm just appreciative that every time I look out the window in the galley, I'm seeing something beautiful, somewhere different. And I think if I were to leave the industry, I would miss the constant change. I love that the most. Plus the crew is awesome. There's a bunch of pirates, really good, fun people.
And for the future, what do you think you see yourself doing? Like, how long do you think that you can continue to be a yacht chef?
Oh, very good question. I think the writing is on the wall. I think I'm 44, so I think I'm getting old for that job. It's definitely a young man's game. I still love it. I still want to cook, but I think my future is going to be in galley design, and that I can do till I'm much, much older. And that is very useful experience that I have that's just been built in after 20 years. Like there's things that I just see immediately that I'm like, that's wrong. That needs to be changed. And I just think that is where my path is going. And I'm really excited about it. Like I'm as excited about galley design as I was about joining the industry and as I was about starting my motorcycle around the world. That's how into it I am. Like I watch these dorks on YouTube teach me how to do 3D design on SketchUp. Like that's how I fall asleep a lot of times because they're boring as shit. But I just want to devour that information to get better at it, to get faster, to make faster edits. And I want to provide a service. I want to start with the drawings and take that all the way through the multi-year process into the delivery of a galley, hiring the chef, teaching the chef kind of the thought process and the flow I envisioned in the first place, and just bringing good galleys back to the industry because I feel like they get overlooked.
Well, and this goes, it's interesting. You said that it's a young man's game, but pretty much every position on board. Do you believe that yachting gives you sort of the background and the foundation to whenever you decide that you want to leave yachting? Does it open up opportunities on land when that time comes for you to make that decision?
Yes, I think so. I think I could also say no, but I think that's short-sighted for any yachty to be like, oh, none of these skills translate to the real world. It's like, well, there's a lot of other jobs around yachting that you could be a part of, that you could join. I tell all greenies when they come in, like you need to have a plan B. You need to have an idea what to do with your money, what to do with the opportunity of living somewhere and not having to pay the cost of the overhead of human life, which is what a yacht takes care of for you. That's almost built into your salary. Well, it is built into your salary. Have a plan B. Think about something you really want to do and work towards that. Have a goal, really. But it's hard. I didn't have that. It's good advice. It's not what I did, but it's an alluring industry. It's really fun. It's a great lifestyle. I wouldn't do it for 20 years. If I hated it or I was bitter, I wouldn't be doing it. It's awesome. I love it. So that's another reason for galley design, because I want to stay in it, but maybe not live in a bunk bed anymore.
For those coming into the industry that look at your career and look at the things that you're doing now, what type of advice would you give them in order to achieve the same sort of goals?
Which goals?
Well, to be in a place where you can actually say, you know what, it's time to exit the industry. And now I have created a reputation that enables me to go on and say that I can do super yacht galley design.
Let's see, advice. I would say challenge yourself as much as possible. Take the jobs that are going to be hard or that you're nervous about, that you're a little bit scared of because of what they may entail, or you might not be good enough for it. Be ready to fail. That's part of it. And be ready to pick yourself up and try again, because that's, you learn more from a loss than you do from a win. So just be on the edge, just keep trying. And I think the industry will notice that. And I think you will get accolades and appreciation even when you do fall flat on your fucking face. Like, it does happen. So that's my advice. Just try. Just don't get complacent. Don't stay on a yacht for more than 4 years maximum. You get some growth. Work on a charter boat. Work on a busy boat. Grow some skills.
And what courses would you recommend them take if they want to get into becoming a yacht chef specifically?
A yacht chef? Just learn how to cook. I don't know of a course. I'm not a course guy. I'm just really not. I prefer apprenticeships and stages. Go work somewhere for free. I've done that a few times in my life, and that propels you forward. You're just inundated with information if you go as a stagiaire somewhere. When I'm hiring, I don't give a shit about courses. I want a little bit of danger factor. I want someone that works somewhere for free for a couple of years. I showed that commitment that shows, and the body of knowledge you're getting. I can't speak to other walks of life, but for cooking, you got to do it every day, and you just don't do it every day in a course. I went to culinary school myself, and I regret it. That's a waste of money. I could have gone somewhere badass, worked for 2 years, and just be that much better, that much more ahead than making hollandaise one day in a class. Like, that's not it. It's not what cooking is. Maybe architecture, maybe law, I'm not sure, but it's hands-on, and you got to do it every day. The repetition, it's got to get burned in. I don't know if that answers your question, but no courses. Don't do courses. It's a waste of money. Sorry. Go work in a 2 Michelin star, 1 Michelin star. That's where you learn food. And as far as being a yacht chef, you got to know it all from top to bottom, breakfast, all the way through the whole day, lunch and dinner, hors d'oeuvres to desserts and breads. You need to know it all. So be flexible, love food, get along with the stews, get along with all the crew, laugh your ass off, have a great time. It's a great industry with really fascinating people in it. And I think they'll really enjoy it, but nay on the courses.
Let me ask you, entree, is that before the main meal or after the main meal?
It's a hot fun topic. It is French for the start of the meal. It looks a lot like the word enter. So it is not a main course, as North America calls it, as I'm sure they do in Canada as well. We Americans have, maybe they don't. There's more of a French influence in Canada. Yeah, it's really inappropriate. It's a terrible word that way.
I had to ask because I saw it on social media the other day as well. And there was that whole question going on. And I thought, yeah. And I did look it up, of course, but I wanted to see what your opinion was, considering you were a U.S. chef.
I had to look it up too, just to be sure. I'm like, I'm pretty goddamn sure that this means appetizer. And if I see that on a menu, I usually walk out. I know that sounds like a snobby chef thing, but I'm just like, nah, this place is stupid. This can't work for me. They use entree as main course. Idiots.
Well, we're going to make sure to provide your information for those out there that would like to contact you, because I know that you have a lot of great advice to give to those out there that are looking to, get anywhere in the industry. As well as you've got a show weekly that airs on Yachting International Radio. And you have your own YouTube. Yeah. And you've got your own YouTube channel, your own Instagram. So we'll provide those links as well if people want to sort of follow you and see what you're up to.
Thanks, Rhea. That would be amazing. Yeah, I'm here for advice too. Like through those things you just mentioned, is I end up becoming this beacon for it anyway. So I might as well take it on board as a free service within reason. Don't hit me up constantly. Just write a bunch of questions in one email and I'll try to do my best to answer them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you once again. You've been watching another edition of PYA Crew Spotlight. We have been talking to Chef Brennan Dates. Do tune into his show every single week, and we'll provide those links below as mentioned. My name is Rhea. I have been your host. We'll see you again next week.